Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're just gonna be doing a chill reading vlog. So it is the 3rd of June and I have a bunch of books that I have kind of eyeing to read for this month, and I'm so excited to get started on some of them. So in this video, we're just going to be doing a chill little reading vlog, going through some of my books that I have picked out and some of the exciting books that I can't wait to get to, and we're going to see which ones we want to pick from. So I have my physical TBR right here on my bookshelf, and we're going to see which ones we want to pick. So these are all of the physical books that I want to try to pick from for this video. So I have quite a few. So one of the first ones that I do want to read is going to be Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. I have never read a book by her, but I got this from the library and I'm so excited. I literally don't know I don't know what this book is about. I picked this up or put this on hold 100% because Olivia Reads a Latte, loved it, rated it 5 stars, and I can't wait to read it. It's got vampires and I don't know what else. So we're going to pick this first, see what I think about it, and then start going through my TBR for this week and see what books I end up reading and what I think about them. So let's get started. It is a few days later and I have some updates. So first, Lindy Ryan, Bless Your Heart. I got to page 132, chapter 18. And I ended up deciding to put this down. I am going to finish it, but I just didn't want to read it now. It's not my comfort zone. This is a story about like a female family. So it's like the great-grandmother, the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. There's 4 of them, and they run a funeral parlor, and they've kind of been tasked with, I guess, finding and putting down Strigoi, which is basically the undead. So there's certain people that they don't know why, but something happens, and if they die in like a violent manner, or if they have some like really strong unfinished business, then it's more likely that they will come back to life after they died. Like I wasn't looking forward to reading. When I did put this down, I did end up picking up Ali Hazelwood's Not in Love, and I ended up finishing that. So this is a book that I started and finished within probably maybe a little bit over 24 hours. Like I picked it up one day and then I finished it the next night. So I ended up giving this 4.25. And so this one, it's not a rom-com, so it doesn't have that same thing. There is still the STEM aspect. So they are, Rue is a scientist and Eli is like a hedge fund. He's like a budget person, like a finance person, but his company, Eli's company, is taking over Rue's company, and so they have this like the tension and all of that between them two. The author's note said that because it's not a typical rom-com, she classifies this as more of a, what did she call it? Erotic romance. So I had heard that this was more spicy than her typical Ali Hazelwood past books. And it is. This is where my reading tastes vary from others, and everyone obviously has a different, like the books that they like to read and like what they considered spicy and what they don't consider spicy. And I have read not a lot, but I have read a decent amount of dark romance. And so anytime I think of like an erotic romance or like a super spicy book, my brain automatically goes to those type of books. So while this did have more spicy scenes than what other books were, it wasn't to the, when I read the author's note, I thought it was going to go to a very strong level, and I don't think it did that. But it was good. It was 4.25 is what I ended up rating it. And the thing was, and I think Larry had just reviewed this book just recently, and she said in her, I think it was Larry, in her review, she said that she really felt more for Eli than she did for Rue. And I am 100% behind that concept. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know why. Like, I don't quite know. Like, I didn't connect to Rue very much, and I don't really know what it was, but Eli, every time I was in his point of view, I was living for it. I loved him. He was so good. He was such a good male character. And so now that I'm finished with Not in Love, I still am not really feeling picking this back up again. So we're going to put this to the side, bless your heart, and we'll pick this up maybe in a little bit later. But the next book that I decided to read, I went to my Kindle to look to see all the different books that I downloaded from Kindle Unlimited. And I decided I'm going to pick up, and I have started already, How Does It Feel? Now, this one I'm super excited to read. This is book 1 of the Infatuated Fae book. I know there's book 2 out already. And then I want to say book 3 is coming out soon. And I am 16% in. And so far the fantasy aspect, like the Fae situation, has not happened. But that's what we are now for reading. I'm going to continue How Does It Feel? And I'm really excited to see what my reactions are. So I am 39% into How Does It Feel? And so far up to this point, it has been 100% in Allie's point of view. And so in this point of the book, she has fallen from the human world into the Unseelie court, has been captured because the Unseelie court thinks that when she fell, it was kind of like Alice in Wonderland in my head. Like she fell through a hole and was like tumbling and tumbling and tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. And when she landed on the like Unseelie prince who like is ruling the kingdom, and like landed on him. And so they assumed that she was like an assassin from the human world sent to assassinate the Unseelie prince. And so they captured her. And up to this point, the Unseelie prince has basically said, you know, it's been weeks since they've captured her. And he has ordered his like basically the assassin for the Unseelie court to kill her. And so now we're on 39%, and we are finally in the prince, which is Mendac's point of view, and I've been waiting to get his point of view. All right, we're going to get to reading and see, now that we're Mendac's point of view, what he thinks of Callie, because all we've gotten is Callie's perspective of the situation and like how she sees Mendax. And like Mendax is supposed to be like 6'5", really, really broad shoulders, like ridiculously muscular and like a powerful presence. And so I'm curious now what his perspective of Callie is. So now we're getting to the good. I love it. I love dual POVs. So I've been waiting to get out of Callie's POV and get into Mendax's POV, just so I can see like his feelings and his thoughts and his perspective of what's going on. So this is my favorite part of this book, when it switches to the other character. So yay! I love to see his thoughts, like what he thought of that first night. I can't. She's a little badass. So I have a complaint, pretty much the only complaint so far. So Callie is a scientist, and because of that, like, she's like a biologist. I guess she knows like the human body and like the different bones and things. And so in this scene, she just attacked a creature. I don't really want to say a whole lot, because if you haven't read it, it was a good scene. But she attacked something, and she was able to take a brick and do her bidding with it. And so in this sentence, it says, I grabbed the bloodied brick and slammed the sharp edge against the metacarpal until it severed, and I held the proximal phalanx in my hand. I'm assuming that is a finger, but I don't know why we just couldn't say that. Like, yes, she's a scientist, or a biologist, but I don't really think I don't know of that many, I don't know any scientists. I'll just go ahead and put it out there. But I would envision 90% of these scientists probably don't talk in that speak, but I don't know. Because the phalanx, I guess it's her finger. But why couldn't you just say she attacked his, metacarpal? What is that? So the 5 bones in the hand. So why can't she just say she smashed his hand until his finger detached? That's my only complaint so far, is she's had a couple of scenes where she's done something and it's mentioned the actual medical terminology for the different parts of the body instead of just saying arm, finger, leg, or whatever. So my only complaint, and it's really not even a big complaint, it's just I think it's unnecessary. It says she said crisscross applesauce. That's funny. What? Okay. So, what chapter am I on? So I just started chapter 24. I'm at 73%. I love what's happening in this book. So it's making me so happy. I can't wait to see what happens. This is still a very much a enemies to lovers type situation. And it's also got touch her and you die, which done that many times. And so the threat of touch her and you die has some standing. He literally would kill everybody. So it's not just a fate, little saying of a touch her and you die type situation. He legit will. And it's so, I'm so looking forward to what's about to happen and how this book is going to end. It's got very interesting. I'm curious. Callie's chapter 24 flips over to Callie's point of view. I was just in Mendax's, I don't know how to say his name. I need to Google how to say his name. But I was in his point of view in chapter 23 with what just went down. And so I'm curious, going into Callie's point of view, how she's going to react and what she thinks about what just happened. She's going to be devastated, I think. I mean, she's going to be devastated. I know she's going to be devastated. But I'm really curious to see what's happening. Because you're starting to, see, the little sparks and, the banter and, the back and forth. They very much don't like each other. But they very much do like each other. But they're fighting it, which makes it very intriguing. Especially when you see, their thoughts, what they're actually thinking in their perspectives. So you kind of see the torment, I hate her or I hate him, but then they're drawn to each other in their touch. So it just got really good. She's in the middle of a trial and on a time crunch, and she's steadily just sitting there thinking about, will I be able to go back to the human lands? Are they going to destroy all humans? Girl, get it together. Focus. You have a time crunch. You were in the midst of trying to potentially be killed. Or in the process of potentially being killed. Get with it. Stop thinking. Just focus. Oh, I growled in frustration at my chaotic mind as I try to focus on the cups. Thank you. Focus. You have no idea the level of pain I will feel when you are gone forever. Okay, so I finished How Does It Feel? And I ended up, I don't even remember if I rated this. I think I rated this 4.5. It was either 4.5 or 4.25. So I thoroughly enjoyed this book. And I have already gone out to Kindle Unlimited and downloaded the second one. But I'm going to be reading that in a little bit. I'm not going to be reading it this month, I don't think. because just I want to try to get through the other books that I already want to read already in July. So that might be an August book, but I really did enjoy it. So I did not expect what happened. I really loved the ending. I loved the like infatuation and the, you know, I must have you type thing that Mendax had with Callie, and really did enjoy the amount of like feeling he had for her. I did not expect the actual ending. It kind of took me by surprise, but I can see where it's going for the next book. I did also, after I finished that book, I did go on Goodreads because I was really curious to see some people's reviews, and it was exactly what I expected. It was a bunch of like 1-star reviews, but then there was also a bunch of like 4 and 5-star reviews. It just kind of depended on, I really think it was just the person's reading taste. Because I know there was a situation that happened in the like dungeon when she was captive. She got a cellmate, and the cellmate was disgusting. And I know there were a lot of people who did not like the description and like what went down. They were kind of grossed out, I guess, with that, which it was disgusting, but you know, it was a fantasy book. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So, like I said, I am going to be reading the next book soon. But I am so glad I finished this. I really did like it. As you can see in some of the shots of me reading it, there were a bunch of like little giggles and like excitement when I was reading it. It was a good time. I liked it. So that is my last read, and now I need to pick my next read. So I have a dog that came in. What are you doing up here? Oh, Jesus. Do you need to go outside? Is that it? What is it? Hi. What? Breathing on me. Okay. Hi. Really? Really? Okay. Okay. Well, okay, let's go outside. Come on, go. Don't knock over my camera. Come on. Let's go. Okay, come on. Okay, now that I was rudely interrupted by my dog, as I was saying, and now that I've finished How Does It Feel, I need to find a new book to read. So I have 2 books kind of set aside over here that I'm thinking about getting, or I'm thinking about reading, but then I also have a package that contains a book that I also want to read. So the books that I'm considering is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and this is just a really quick romance. I think it would be really good. I've heard really good things about it. I mean, the back of the book says a bingeable 5-star read by Abby Jimenez, and I love Abby Jimenez books, so we have this one. And I did look at the first sentence of the first chapter, and the first sentence of this book says, sometimes you just have to throw shit in the pantry. I'm already liking this book. So we have this one, and then we also have Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. This is book 2 of the Lakefront Billionaires book. This is a single dad and a nanny, and they go on vacation together, and it's a billionaire romance. But my concern with this is it's a huge book compared to this one. Like, it's massive, and anytime books get to be close to 600 pages or over 600 pages, I feel like sometimes it's too long, and there's no need to have a 600-page romance unless it's part of a series and you are like continuing on the story. It's the only way I would have a 600-page romance. And so anything that has a single standalone book and it's this big, I'm kind of concerned. So we have this one, but I'm really leaning toward not reading this one right now. But the other book that I do have just got delivered today, and it is Reckless. So this is book 2 of the Powerless series, and I don't know how many books are going to be in this series, but I did read Powerless, and then I also read the novella Powerful just recently, and this is going to actually continue on with the Reckless series. And I really enjoyed the first book, and so I've heard people seem to really like this book and are like frustrated that they have to wait again for the next book to come out. So I do have this also, but looking at these 3 books, I'm honestly thinking of doing the summer romance, because Love Unwritten, like I said, is really, really, really thick. And I think I do want to read this, but I don't feel like I want to read this now. And then with Reckless, I just got finished with a like fantasy romance, and I think I want to hold off on this one until maybe the next go round. So I think my next read is going to be summer romance, and I'm really excited. So this is a story about a newly single mom who just got divorced, has a couple of kids. She's in her like late 30s, I want to say, and she's getting over her mom passing away 2 years prior. She hasn't worn pants with a zipper in longer than she cares to remember. Been there. That's only just because I don't like them. I don't like pants. It's leggings or sweatpants or no zippers. But she meets, actually it says her dog claimed a man for her, so that sounds like a good time. I'm excited. So this is going to be the next book. I'm really excited to read it. I've never read a Annabelle Monaghan book before. Now we're going to read Summer Romance. So Destiny just read this book and absolutely loves it. And she had mentioned that in this book there's talk about a champagne summer, and she was incorporating that into her life because she just loved that concept. And I'm in chapter 2 now, and they had just talked about a champagne summer, and apparently I guess it's where, as she was growing up as a kid, her mom used to say, what do you want this summer? And the child, she would say, I want to grow 2 inches, I want to be kissed. And her mom would be like, what else? And then you would still keep like throwing all of these like wishes that you want for the summer. And her mom was like, you can have all of it. And I believed her. And she says, here's to a champagne summer. So I guess it's like kind of a optimistic, like, we're going to have a great summer. You're going to get everything that you wished for. It's going to be, wonderful and happy and all that kind of stuff. I'm guessing that's what the champagne summer is like meaning. I had never heard of that concept, and me being I'm a very black and white type person, so trying to like interpret sometimes what creative people say, sometimes it doesn't click in my brain, but that's kind of how I'm interpreting it. We'll see. I don't know, but it was interesting. I finally kind of got a glimmer into what Destiny was talking about in all her videos when she was talking about and wanting to, like, her love of this book and her taking a champagne summer concept and kind of making it part of her day-to-day life. So it was interesting. So maybe the champagne summer is you like say your wishes as the sun is starting to rise, and at that point when the sun rises, like, your wish is granted, and that's like the champagne summer. That's nice. All right, I have an update. I finished Summer Romance, and I got 0 clips of me reading this. So I ended up giving this 4.75. It was so close to a 5-star, but I think what it is, while I really enjoyed the characters of Allie and Ethan and their like romance and their relationship, and I really, 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 really loved Ethan. It's hard for me with 5-star books, because with 5-star books, like, I love the characters, like, I can relate to the characters, I feel for the characters, like, all of that. My battery is going to die. Hold, please. So like I was saying, after my camera battery rudely interrupted me, 5-star books are like books that I either connect so good with the characters, or like I can't put it down. Like, it's got me hooked. And while I really enjoyed Allie and Ethan, I really liked their relationship. I really loved how sweet Ethan was, and I understood kind of the struggles and what Allie was going through. And I liked the storyline. I liked, Allie, kind of being forced to find herself again after her mom passed away, after she gets a divorce, and like all of the struggles that she has, and like learning to find herself again at, the person that she was before she was married, and kind of all of the stuff that she just kind of pushed down and like to the side and didn't think was important while she was married, trying to get that back, like that fire in her and the excitement and all that. Like I liked that story. It didn't get me. Like the thing was, the reason why I made this 4.75 and not a 5-star is because I was okay putting it down and doing something else. Like if it's a 5-star, I don't want to put it down. Like I want to read it. I don't want to stop. Like I'm thinking about it and all of that. And while everything else was in this book, like every other feeling was in this book, really enjoyed it. But whenever like my kids interrupted me, instead of me, being kind of like, oh, I don't want to put it down, that feeling, I was just like, oh, you need to have some apple juice? Okay. And I would put it down and get apple juice. And then I would go do something else. And then eventually I would come back and read it. So it didn't have that. So that was the reason why this was 4.75, even though it was a really, really, really good book. So I did read this. I'm glad I read it. I can see why people love this. That was my summer romance review. Enjoyed it. 4.75. So close to a 5-star. So, and then I think that's going to be it. So in this video, I still have not read Bless Your Heart. It is still in the exact same spot I was at the beginning of this video. Haven't even thought about that book since I started it. And because I'm not thinking about it, and it's been a week or so since I started that book, I think I'm just gonna go and turn it back into the library. And if I feel like reading the book, maybe I'll try to reread it in like October. Maybe that'll be an October read because it does have vampires. So maybe I'm gonna do that. I'm looking at the book it's on my end table right over here, and I haven't wanted to pick it up. So I think I'm just going to DNF it. Again, not a bad book, just not a book for me right now. So Bless Your Heart, that's going to go back to the library. I'm going to go ahead and DNF it. So we have that. And then I also did read, what did I read? I did read How Does It Feel? Loved that book. Also read Summer Romance. And then I also read, what was the other book that I read? I read Not So in Love. Also a very good book. Not a 5-star, but it was a really good book. So overall, the books that I did read, Not So in Love, How Does It Feel, and Summer Romance, those were really, really, really good books. And so, yeah, I think that's a good video. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for those who have stuck around and watched it to this part. I greatly appreciate all the support and all of the views. It makes me very happy when I see people getting to the end of my video, so thank you. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you do so. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love for my channel to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. It's still, like, I'm at 260 something right now, and so I know it's a lot to ask to have basically my channel subscribers duplicate in 6 months. It's not going to happen. I would love for it to. So if you are seeing this video and you have not subscribed, please make sure you do so. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I do have some other exciting videos kind of planned, and I can't wait to get to those. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see everybody in my next video. Bye!